Hello everybody, this is Chromical018, and yeah, for some strange reason, I guess I didn't edit it out when I was, editing the videos, but for some strange reason the opening is actually in this episode. So enjoy it while you can, because you're not going to get to see it, at least not in my reactions. Because obviously I edited it out because, well, copyrights and all that. Anyway, in this episode, Melios gets back, and everybody questions him, what did you do back there? What did you do? And essentially, he admits that he provoked them into a fight, and he gets yelled at, and yeah, don't blame them. And essentially, he tells them that that was his plan, was to provoke them into splitting up. And that's essentially what the demons actually do. They do split up into little groups, or pairs. And yeah, that was Melios' plan, because obviously, even probably with Escanor's power, maybe even with Escanor's power, I'm not sure. But even if they were to, all 7 sins were to fight all 10 commandments at one time, they would all get their butts kicked. Actually, I don't know, because Escanor is a pretty freaking powerhouse himself. I don't know. It would just depend, I guess, on the time of day. If it's when Escanor's at his peak power, they might have a chance. But essentially, Meliodas split them up because he wants it'd be easier to take them out that way. Anyway, everybody heads out. We actually see some changes to some of the people. Arthur's got some weird cat demon thingy stuck to his head. Can't get it off. Griamore got transformed into a child. It's kind of creepy in my opinion. Let's see. Hawk ended up eating the inside of a fire dragon because he got swallowed and he ate it to get out. And he somehow is able to take on the qualities of that creature. The color of the skin, the scales, breathing fire through his nose that hurts him. Essentially he takes on whatever qualities of any creature that he eats that's magical. It doesn't work with regular animals. And before they head out, Elizabeth comes out after her trial, and we find out she failed. She openly admits she failed. And she feels bad because she obviously wants to be able to help out in the field, besides just being an innocent bystander watching this whole thing. And they tell her not to fret about it. And they head out, and we find out that after they left, that Zarina, I think is what her name was, didn't put the seed in the pot like she had said she did. So there was nothing for Elizabeth to fix, and that's why she failed. And she did this not because she has feelings for Meliodas. That's not the point here. The point is she did it because Elizabeth doesn't need to be in the fighting. If she was in the fighting and she got hurt or worse, Meliodas would possibly freak out again and go destroy everything in his path. And the reason for this is because Elizabeth is actually the reincarnation of Liz, which we actually find out in this episode. So that's why he's so attached to her. It's essentially the same person, just a different body. Sort of. Same person soul-wise. Just different personality and different looks. Except their eyes are kind of similar, but their hair isn't. So yeah, that's why he's so freaking protective over Elizabeth. Is because he actually knows that that's Liz. Because we actually see this later. Hang on, I got an itch. Sorry. It was itching there. Anyway, we actually find this out in a later episode that he actually knows it's her. Anyway, we actually found out that Melios' power went from 3250, I think, to 32,500. And Meliodas says that now they have to go find Escanor. And Hawk questions, well, why? You're so powerful, we shouldn't need him, right? And he says, oh, Escanor's more powerful than me. Essentially, that makes me wonder, then why is Meliodas the captain? Why isn't Escanor the captain? That I've actually wondered that. Why is Escanor, wouldn't the captain of the Seven Deadly Sins be the most powerful? Right? Unless I'm missing something. I assume he's the captain because he formed the Seven Deadly Sins. I'm not sure. I would assume so, because I assume because he went and found everybody. That's the only reason I could think of, because, like I said, if Escanor's more powerful than Meliodas, then it would make sense to Escanor being the, the leader. But, anyway, that's where they're heading. And the thing I mentioned about Elaine and all the souls, that actually happens in this episode. I kind of jumped the gun on that. So, Elaine pops up, actually right at the end of the episode. She had called Oslo, King's dog. And, Helbram tries to tell Harlequin, no, don't let him go. But it's too late. He already left. Because Helbram knows something is wrong. And King decides to go off and try and find out what the heck's going on. Where did Oslo go? And, let's see. It's by this point that Vaughn and Jericho are outside the city, I'm guessing. I guess they buried his father figure and poured a beer over his body, or his grave, I guess, as a last drink or something. I don't know. And Jericho would have gotten hurt by Elaine, but Vaughn pushed her out of the way and took the blow. And the first thing that they do when they see each other, they kiss, even though she just hurt Vaughn. Because obviously Vaughn knows that something is not quite right, and he knows that it's not her fault. Because she was essentially dead when they last left her, and as far as they knew, nothing had happened to change that. Because they hadn't been able to find anything, and as far as the fairy folk knew, they did not know what to do for that. So yeah, he knew something was up. Even though he was just, I guess, relishing in the moment that she was there in front of him, alive. At least, for the moment. Though, because, like I said, I don't think anything's going to change how he feels about her. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, got a few paper cuts from freaking opening boxes of cigarettes so I could put them in the freaking cabinet at work the other day. Because the way I'd open it is put my finger through where it's slightly open and then, push my finger through it to open it. So yeah, I've gotten a few paper cuts because of that. Anyway, that's actually where the episode ends, is when they're kissing. And you can bet that things aren't going to end well. Anyway, that's about all I have to say for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see everybody next time.